Sweden has always had a heavy presence on the international stage of hockey, so much so that the lowest that the IIHF has ever ranked them internationally is at the 5th spot, and they've even been as high as 1st. So the Swedes must be doing something right in terms of their development of men's hockey. With that in mind, let's take a look at how each professional league in Sweden fits into each other in the grand scale of the Swedish hockey feeder system. As the NHL is the top hockey league in North America, and the KHL is the top hockey league in Eastern Europe, the Swedish Hockey League, also known as the Svenska Hockeyligan or SHL for short, sits at the top of the Swedish hockey hierarchy. The SHL has 14 teams in it, and a typical regular season for each team sees them playing about 52 games against each other. The top 10 teams in the league qualify for the playoffs, and the team that is left standing at the end of the SHL playoffs gets to lift the Lamott Trophy. The cool thing about the Swedish pro hockey scene is that there is in fact a relegation system in place, similar to what is seen in the English Premier League to some extent. The bottom 2 teams in the SHL and the top 4 teams from the second tier league, the Hockey Allsvenskan, play in a relegation series called the Kvalserien, where the top 2 teams from the tournament get to play in the SHL the next season, while the others play in the Allsvenskan. The Allsvenskan specifically has 14 teams playing in it currently, the same amount of teams as the SHL above it, also following a 52 game schedule as well. As we already know, the top Allsvenskan teams play for the right to get promoted to the SHL. But this league also has a relegation system in order to keep the flow of things going. The Kvalserien for the Allsvenskan sees the bottom 2 teams in the league engage in a relegation round robin against Hockeyettan teams, which sits atop of the 3rd tier of the Swedish feeder system. So unlike the SHL and the Allsvenskan, the Hockeyettan has 48 teams, a big leap from the 14 teams in the other leagues. However, the teams in the Hockeyettan are divided geographically into 4 regions: the Hockeyettan North, the Hockeyettan South, the Hockeyettan West, and the Hockeyettan East. Each of these leagues has 12 teams within them. As relegation and promotion goes, the top teams in the Hockeyettan qualify for the promotion tournament, and the bottom teams enter a relegation tournament against Division 2 teams. And Division 2 is the league just below the Hockeyettan. Division 2 is also known as the Hockey Tvan, and it carries a lot of teams. So many teams that it has to be divided into 11 regional groups, as opposed to the 4 regional groups of the Hockeyettan. These regional groups are the Stockholm Norra, the Stockholm Södra, Norra A, Norra B, Norra C, Norra D, Södra A, Södra B, Södra C, Västra A, and Västra B. We know that this league has a promotion system as mentioned earlier, but it also has a relegation system too. The worst teams in this league get sent down to Division 3, which, if you're keeping track of now, is the 5th tier of pro Swedish hockey. This league, like all the lower tiered pro Swedish leagues, is split up into regional divisions as well, but it's not the lowest level of hockey in Sweden. After Division 3, the Eastern Division 4 can be found, and beyond that, a Stockholm Center Division 5 can be found. And that's about as deep as it goes. So that about does it for the pro hockey feeder system in Sweden. It's the longest one we've covered so far, and it's actually pretty impressive that it can go down this deep. And even though Sweden only has a population of about 10 million people, that won't stop them from having a feeder system that goes 7 leagues deep with multiple sub-regions in between. I hope you liked the video, and I'll see you in the next one.